Then what's up? What's up, everyone? This is Daryl Fletcher, Executive Director and founder of Sofa Ranch, and I am here with a lovely young lady that I have had the opportunity to do business with and do a lot of great things within the community. Lady Raven, as I like to call her, she is the Executive Director, founder, CEO of Lady Saddlers. And we got some awesome things coming up this week, and we just wanted to give our audience an opportunity to learn more about what we're doing and participate with Sofa Ranch and the Lady Saddlers. Raven, how are we doing today?
Yes, we are doing so good, Mr. Daryl. Super excited to be here and be able to, partner with Super Ranch. I think, from the first moment that we've even launched our club and stepped foot on your ranch, it has been such a transformative experience. So we're just super excited about one, the upcoming event, and also to think about, this whole Save SOOFA Ranch initiative.
Yeah, I'm honored that you guys would, want to partner with us because partnership is very important. And not only is it important, it's how a lot of things get done. And in our community, a lot of times people don't always have the mindset of partnership. They have the mindset of, okay, you get yours, I'll get mine, or, you know, uh, we can't get both of ours at the same time. And so that's not been our relationship. And I'm so appreciative of that. I really have to be honest with you and our audience today. Um, and I made the commitment maybe a month ago or 2 months ago to not mask
Mm,
my feelings, my and because I do what I do and who I am, I can be a professional masker, if
mm,
I could use that term.
yeah.
And in preparation for tonight, I said to myself that I am not going to mask.
Okay.
And in not masking, I may say some things tonight that might shock you, that might shock some of our uh, audience. Um, but I have to be honest with everybody. I'm not doing well.
Mm,
I am not doing well emotionally, and I'm not doing well mentally. In the last few months, I have lost a lot of things. I've lost some friends. I've lost some people who I thought cared about our organization. I lost some vehicles, um, and I almost had a nervous breakdown, to be quite honest with you. And with that, I reached out to my mother. My mother lives in Florida, and my mother came to see me. And I have to be honest with everyone that I told my mother that I was afraid to experience another setback. The reason why I told her that I was afraid to experience another setback is because I don't know if my heart can handle it. I'm 49 years old,
yeah.
and statistically, I have more summers behind me than I do in front of me. And I have been getting a lot of encouraging calls, a lot of, hey, man, if this doesn't work out, you can do this, or if this doesn't work out, you can do that. But
Yeah.
statistically and honestly, guys, I honestly don't know if I can handle that. And that's just, I'm not trying to,
Mm-hmm.
you know, pull on nobody's heartstrings. I just want to be honest with myself. Before before we got on tonight, I sat under our tree that where we have by myself for a little while, even contemplating, did I want to do this?
Mm-hmm.
did I want to have this conversation to promote the fundraiser for this weekend and talk about fundraising and tell people about what we're doing. And I said I was going to do it because that's just the type of the person that I am.
Yeah.
But to our audience, to my family, and I'm gonna share this with you. A month ago, I was on suicide watch. A month ago, a little over a month ago, I was on suicide watch because I've experienced so much loss this year. And to be quite honest with everybody that's watching, I wanted to go to sleep and not wake up. I have spent my life pouring into people.
Yeah.
I have spent my life envisioning Sofa Ranch, what it can be to the masses of young people that we have had an opportunity to reach. And if I am totally honest with everyone tonight, if we don't save Sofa Ranch, I honestly don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not saying that to pull on nobody's heartstrings or try to say something that is untrue, but this is my life's work.
Yeah.
This is not a job that I applied for and didn't get. This is not, oh, something I went to school for and was like, okay, I wanted to, do that. I've been working with horses for over 40 years, and I have been passionate about horses since my dad introduced me to horses. And I knew the impact that horses had on my life, and I wanted to be able to duplicate that impact on young men's lives and other people's lives. And I knew what it could do. So when we say we want to save Sofa Ranch, it's not about likes, it's not about clicks. And so many people are saying to us, if I had the money, I would just do it. I'm not asking you for $600,000. I know there are not many people who have $600,000,
Mhm.
but I know that there are 6,000 people who have 100.
Yeah.
It wanted our views alone. We got 12,000 views. What we posted this morning got 8,000 views. So our message is getting to people, but I want to make this message very clear. We don't need a rapper. We don't need an entertainer. We don't need a star to come rescue us. Us as a community, we can do this. And if you don't have $100, then I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the people who can. And it's simple math. And fundamentally, we have a little over, I'm gonna say, 8 days left to try to work something out. And let me give the backstory of what's going on.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit more.
So last year we started seeing some of the grants and things going away. So we asked our mortgage company to say, "Hey, can we do a loan modification?" So we entered into the loan modification program with our mortgage company. They told us while we were in the program, don't pay your mortgage. Okay. We were following directions. It took 8 months for them to finalize whatever as to how they wanted us to handle our mortgage. And then they denied us for the program. They denied us for the loan modification program. And there were other things that were on that. It was like a matrix. And so loan modification was checked no, reduce loan or reduce mortgage payment, check no, and just other things. Everything just basically said no. They didn't want to basically do that. So after that, we were scrambling. And so we filed for bankruptcy. We filed for bankruptcy, and that's a process. And so we did that. We did that at the beginning of this year. And so, like I said, we're going through the process of filing bankruptcy, submitting all the paperwork, all our documentation. And while we're doing that, more and more grants and funding is being pulled away from us. So the documentation that we submitted saying, hey, we make this amount is really not actually true. So then our bankruptcy case got removed, and they said you were not approved for bankruptcy.
Wow.
30 days later, after that, we got a notification and said, hey, you have until this date to pay off the loan or you're going into foreclosure and we'll sell your property on the steps of the county. And that's where we are now. So there's been no mismanagement of funds.
Yeah.
There's been no, you know, anything crazy. People will ask the questions, well, what about this? And what about that? Well, what about grants? Grants take time that
Yeah.
we do not have. And it's as simple it's as simple as if Sofa Ranch has ever done any. We have served over 10,000 people in our 5 years of existence. And we simply ask if Sofa has ever meant anything to you, you've seen the work we do, simply donate $100 and tell a friend to donate $100 because we are in the fourth quarter,
Yeah.
to put it in sports terms, and at the 2 minute warning.
Yeah.
And I applaud Lady Sadlers and everyone that is, helping us do the work that we do and spread the word. But it's really simple. It's simple to me, simple. 6,000 people,
100.
$100, and we can save Sofa Ranch. Because the challenge is we want to pay off the loan because as we pay off the loan, we won't have those that over our head and we can figure out something to work out. But if we pay back a little bit or do a little bit of this, do that, we're still in the same position.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to share that with you and everyone that is listening because it is my life's work. I have worked with kids for 30 years. I was working with kids since I was a kid. I started working with kids when I was 19 years old, and I've always wanted to see the impact of courses on a child's life because I know what it had on my life.
Yeah.
So, with me sharing that, I want to talk to you a little bit about what we got planned this weekend.
Well, first of all, thank you so much, Mr. Fletcher, for sharing and being so vulnerable. I think it's it's hard to just get out there and ask for help and just say the reality of like where you are. So I'm super grateful for you to share with us, and just I'm hopeful, right? I see your vision. I've, like I said, been impacted from by you firsthand. Our ladies have been impacted as well positively by you, and the kids. I remember when we had like the Little Settlers event where we brought the kids out to give them a horseback riding experience. And so I, you, I was like, oh, you look at that number, it's daunting for sure. But I know the power of community. And I know that one, God's going to make it work. And we're together going to be able to save Super Ranch. So we're going to be positive. And like you said, it's the fourth quarter. And this means we have to literally do what we need to do to make it. So I really encourage anyone on this live, if you are here, even if you haven't been impacted by Sulphur Ranch personally, just to know, like, just hearing from the stories, I'll encourage you to take a look at their page and see all the great things they've done. the lives they've touched. It's truly inspirational, and we know we're saying $100 for 6,000 people, but even if you can donate 10, like, and if you could share, like, literally, but we do also want you to be able to put money in behind the action, because it really takes a village. And so we want to ensure that we can help one transform the lives of other people. But when we think about Mr. Dale and all that he's poured into others, it's time for us to like pour into him as well.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I'm no saint, and I don't try to make it out like I am. I'm a human being, and in that human being, I hurt, I feel, and I think a lot of times people see me and they're like, "Oh man, he's straight," and I get that a lot.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm a human being, and it's important that we make sure that we give everyone the space to be human beings. That is very important, and that's one of the things that horses actually give us the opportunity to be. It's about the awareness. It's about the being able to be present, because you've had an opportunity to work with horses. If you're thinking about something else, that horse is going to sense it, and they're going to respond to you in a different way. So being aware of your emotions, being aware of where you are mentally, emotionally, physically is so important, that we can learn from horses and transfer that to our everyday life. And so, what do we got planned for this
Also
weekend?
want to say though, if you care about horses, but you don't care about the people that are taking care of the horses, that's a huge
Mm,
disconnect. Like the horses and being able to provide those experiences to you are created by the people. So
mm,
that's all I'm saying. So yeah, this weekend we have our equestrian soiree, and it's really one going to be an opportunity to celebrate Ladies and Sellers' um, 1 year anniversary. But what is really important to us is like giving back to the community. And so we chose to one and donate a portion of the proceeds to Sufa Ranch.
mhm.
And then we're also going to be doing like a live fundraiser and auction as well. So we have some items that we're going to be auctioning. Shout out to Bentley Atlanta. They're going to be giving away a $3,500 experience where you'll
Mm,
able to pick a car and take it and have it for the weekend.
wow.
Yeah. We also have some products being auctioned off by Equestrian Noir. So a lot of great things in store. But I think for us, I think when I look back and thinking about the timing, like this event for me is really now a moment where we're able to come together as a community and help you all over at SOFA really reach your goal or put a dent in it, at least, really do our part.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree. I mean, I applaud you guys. I thank you. It's so amazing that a year has passed, and with a year passing, it's for us. It's like, man, we really sometimes take for granted the time that we do have, and as entrepreneurs, as individuals that are working in a variety of fields, time is our most valuable resource. And with time being our most valuable resource, it's important that we take advantage of the time that we have. And in taking advantage of that time, I don't want people to take time for granted.
Yeah.
And it's important that as we pull this together and come together as a community, I want us to be thinking about those family members, those people that I'm like I said earlier, I'm 49 years old, and I am of the age that if I think about somebody, if I have a dream about somebody, I reach out, I call them, I text them, because it has happened to me twice in the last year where I thought about somebody. I thought about a person on Sunday, They were up in conversation. I get a text Tuesday that they had passed away. Or I had a conversation with one of my former volunteers here at the ranch, checking on him. 2 days later, his wife texts me and says he passed away in his sleep. So let's not take time for granted. Let's not take resources for granted. And here's the thing: Sofa Ranch is not um, unique in the fact that we are the only ones going through something.
Mm-hmm.
I totally get it, the times that we're living in, and that's once again one of the reasons why we have that simple formula of 6,000 people giving $100, because we're not asking people, because people look at the full amount and like, oh my gosh, the amount is big, and it
Yeah.
is. There's no lie. It is a big number. I cannot even try to skirt around it. But one of my mentors asked me one time, he said, how do you eat an elephant?
Mm.
And I sat there and I thought about it and I was like, I don't know. And he said, you eat an elephant one bite at a time. And right now, $600,000 is our elephant. It's big, it's tough, it's maybe intimidating. But if 6,000 people take a bite in the form of $100, then our elephant will be eaten.
Yeah.
And our challenges for this particular portion of our life can be worked through. So that's what we're looking to do. That's what we're asking people to do. Take your bite of $100, keep it moving, and maybe share it with somebody else, and we can get that number.
Yeah.
It's just a simple fact of we've been on four different news telecasts and whatever, and we just got to keep getting the message out there and keep getting the word out there of what's going on. And one of the reasons why this is important is because Sofa Ranch is only one of five minority led equine assisted therapy centers in the country.
Yeah.
One of five. There's only two on the East Coast, me and another young lady by the name of Patricia Kelly in Connecticut. There's only one in Georgia. Now, I'm not saying I'm the only therapeutic center in Georgia. That is not what I'm saying. I am saying minority owned and led.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The reason why that is important is because representation matters.
It does
And if
matter.
and we need to have the opportunity to show young men, young women that there are more to horses than just cowboy movies and the Kentucky Derby. We need to show more young men that you can go and interact with the horse and help you work through challenges emotionally and physically. We want to show people that horses are vehicles for healing. We want to show people that a young man, if he's questioning on what he wants to do with his life, hey, here's an opportunity to work with horses. You can be a farrier, you can be an equine specialist, you can be this, you can be that, whatever it is. But if we don't see people in these spaces, then people will think that there's no space for them.
Yeah.
So I just want to challenge everybody that is under the sound of my voice and watching this live and may watch it on the repeat, that this is so much bigger than Sofa Ranch. This is a win for our community. This would be a win for us to say we came together and we accomplished something. We talk we I hear the stories of the Tulsa um Tulsa, Oklahoma uh
Wall Street.
county. What is it called? Probably called
The Wall Street.
Tulsa Wall Street. Yes. We hear stories of the civil rights movement, and it was community that was able to get the awareness of the nation and accomplish the task and the goals of a particular mission. And as we are drawing together, that's what we're looking to do. We want to be able to draw together as a community, save Sofa Ranch, and even with that, okay, now we can move on to doing more things in the community, building the center, and now we have a place where kids can come, grow, veterans, children who have been, not children, but women who have been traumatized through domestic violence, and that's what we want to provide, that create that environment for healing, that environment for change. But if we don't have that environment, then ultimately it poses a greater challenge for us to do that. Are tickets still available for the soiree? And I can put that in the. Are they still available before I even do that?
Yes, they are available.
And where can they get tickets?
Yeah, you can get tickets at ladysalaries.com under our social events. It's going to be called Lady Salars Anniversary Equestrian Soiree. Um, but Daryl, I'm just so moved, and I'm honestly speechless. I am, but I know, like I said, that we together can really help save Super Ranch.
hmm
Um,
I'm gonna put not to interrupt you, sorry, but I'm gonna put that in the chat in the comments so people can see it on the screen. If you go over to ladysadlers.com and backslash events backslash Lady Sadler's Club Anniversary Soiree. We just put it on the screen, and that is where you can get tickets. It's in Buckhead. Like we said, they got a night of events that are going to take place. A portion of the proceeds will be going towards Sofa Ranch, and so you want to make sure that you go over to ladysadlers.com backslash events and go down to the Lady Sadlers Club's anniversary soiree where you can get your tickets. Come hang out with me and a couple of people from Sofa Ranch and meet some of the lady sailors. I really want to applaud you on your how many chapters you guys have now?
5.
5 chapters, and I think if I'm not mistaken, I have either lived or been to 4 of your 5 chapters. So we have Atlanta chapter, you have
Mhm,
a DMV chapter, you have
mhm.
a Florida chapter. Where's your Florida chapter?
It's South Florida.
In South Florida. That's where I grew up. Okay,
Mhm.
what then? Do you have a Charlotte chapter?
Yes.
And then where's the other chapter?
Chicago. You've been to Chicago?
Chicago. I've been to Chicago. I've been to Charlotte. Now, I've lived in 3 of the places. I grew up in Florida. I've lived in the DMV, and currently live in Atlanta. But I've been to Charlotte and Chicago. So shout out to you. Let's talk a little bit about that and the pr- what's the goal behind the club?
Yeah, I would say, our goal is to really, one, create a space for women to come together and connect around something that they have a common interest in, which is horses. But when I think about the other mission of our organization, is really to raise awareness and access to horseback riding as well as equestrian social activities. I think historically speaking, a lot of the different events and just like experiences have not been accessible to a lot of different groups of people for a variety of reasons. And so that's what we're here to do. And just really, I think of it, it's more than a club, it's really a movement in my perspective.
You said an important word there. As I was talking about representation earlier, one of the things that horses have been used as a symbol of elitism or classism. And you talked about access and why it's so important that our young people don't think that it is a barrier for them to have access to horses. Now, we think about access, people think about, oh, I want to have access, but access or exposure creates opportunity for growth. You will not believe the number of people that we see on a annual basis where they are afraid of so many things, and they are afraid of horses. And that fear translates into different areas of their life. And because that fear translates in different other areas of their life, they don't know how to overcome fear. They don't know how to work through fear and confront fear. And because they don't, they allow themselves to live in fear. And when they allow themselves to live in fear, they think, I can't, I won't, or I will never. And using horses as a vehicle to help people overcome anxiety, depression, just a number of challenges that people may have. It's a wonderful vehicle for people to understand. If I can handle myself on this 1,200-pound animal,
Yeah.
or if I can connect in a powerful way with this animal, and we show you with equine assisted therapy techniques how you can transfer that same principle into other areas of your life, there is nothing that would be able to stop you, and there'll be nothing that you wouldn't be able to do, because principles are transferable. And because they are transferable, I can take one principle of my life and put it in another area of my life and begin to see results. And that's some of the things that we do here at Sofa Ranch, because the the majority of the young women that you work with, they're either they're either entrepreneurs or well off into their career. And so, with them being well off into their career, they're going to have those challenges of where they may have to present. And then
Yeah.
they may have a subconscious fear of speaking in front of people. They're going to have those challenges of where patriarchy is pushing down on them and trying to put them in their place. I can remember when we had one of the sessions at here at Sofa Ranch, and I overheard the conversation. I was ear hustling, and one of the lawyers began to talk about some of the challenges that she was facing, in her practice. And, being able to come in and be like, hey, what if we looked at it this way? Or maybe working with the horse this way can help you work through that particular challenge that you are experiencing, or through that particular situation. Then it gives a person the ammunition to say, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I can do this. You
Yeah.
know what? I can overcome this. And so horses are such majestic creatures. It's an exhilarating feeling. But like, as you, and you of course you have experienced it in working with horses over the last year, there's nothing like accomplishing something on a horse that you've been working on.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives you that euphoric feeling of, man, I know how to post, or no, I know how to trot, I know how to canter now, or me and that horse really bonded today. And that transfers over into your life, and the next morning you wake up, you're like, all right, what giant are we gonna knock down today? What uh wall are we gonna push down today? And it's so important that women, young men, young ladies have access to these opportunities, so that aha moment can go off in their head and say, you know what? Nothing is impossible. I can accomplish this. I can do this.
Yeah, I think, for me, one of the greatest lessons I've learned from your leadership course through horses was the fact when you're like, what did you say? It was like, if you don't control it, it's going to control you.
Yes. Yeah. Let me get a finger snaps on that. Yes. Yes.
And you were talking about the horse, right? But then I think that like literally translated to literally every situation in life. And so that was something that really stuck with me. And every single time I'm like dealing with the horse or, dealing with the situation in life, it's like you have a choice. It's like you can control it or it will control you. And so that was just, something that really stood out to me in your leadership course with the
Yeah.
horses.
Yeah. I applaud that. And I'm a father of five. And sometimes when you're a father of five, you say stuff and you think it's going in one ear and right out the other. And I can remember when I was going through my rough patch a couple of months ago. My oldest daughter, she started regurgitating sermons and regurgitating things that I had told her over the years. And you think, these kids ain't paying attention to me, or whatever the case may be. And she was paying attention. And to hear you say that really, warms my heart, because it's one of those things where, like, hey, man, they're paying attention.
Mhm.
They're paying attention, and what I'm doing is not in vain. I want to give a special shout out to some people who have just started giving donations. Shout out to Sharon Thomas. She just made a $500 donation. Thank you so much, Sharon Thomas. God bless you. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. I want to give another shout out to we have Carolyn Kohler, who made a $25 donation. Shout out to Veronica Rayford for making a $100 donation. So these donations are coming in while we're sitting here, and that's what we're talking about, guys. We're not asking you to empty out your bank account. We're not asking you to risk it all. Take a look at your finances, what you can spare, and share it, and then share this the story of Sofa Ranch, and you know we can multiply this giving over and over again. When I see that the AKAs were able to raise like $2.5 million for
No,
what's
Kamala.
yeah, for Kamala, I was like, whoa, shucks. In 24 hours. In 24 hours. Now, do we need to raise that type of money? We would love to, but it was community. It
Mhm.
was everybody coming together. It's like, I don't have this, but I got that. I don't have this, I don't have that, but I got this. Let's not focus on what you don't have. Let's focus on what you do have and utilize what you have.
Yeah.
So I'm getting ready to get up out of here. We've been talking, a little bit, but let's remind everybody what's going down this weekend, September 27th, on Saturday. Just give them one good pitch before we get up out of here, and give them two good reasons why they should show up.
All right. Well, like my great friend Lori Bell always says, we're going to party for a purpose. We're going to celebrate the Lady Sailors Club 1 year anniversary. There's going to be a saxophonist. There's going to be great food and a beautiful art gallery. But there's also going to be the great opportunity to help us raise some funds towards Sufa Ranch. So I don't know what more I can tell you. You got wine, you got art, you got great people, good vibes, good music, and being able to give back while having fun.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard it here. We need you to come out and join us for the Lady Saddlers 1 year anniversary, for their inaugural year. Portions of the proceeds for this anniversary will be going towards Sofa Ranch, and this will be a wonderful time to network and connect with people who are within the community of not only equestrian, but the Lady Saddlers have a wide range of entrepreneurs and career individuals that you may have an opportunity to connect with. So why don't you go over to ladysaddlers.com/events, then scroll down to the section where it says Lady Saddlers Club Anniversary Soiree. And uh, speaking of soiree, let's talk about this attire before we get off the air. What do I need to wear? Do I need to wear a tuxedo? Do I need to be fancy? Talk to me a little bit. What
You
we
dress fancy, it's at an art gallery, so we want you to be inspired by the art. But it's not casual, so it's your Sunday's best, I would say.
Yeah, Sundays. All right. So no Jordans, sneakers and sneakers, Rees and tees. We want you to put on your best foot forward. Ladies, it's time to get fancy. Put on a little sequence, that little tight little dress, or whatever the case may be, or push it up here, lift it over here, squeeze it in here, whatever you got to do to get into that dress, and come out and they got music, we got food, and we're doing it for a great cause, the Lady Saddlers annual anniversary, or their first year anniversary. And once again, the portions of the proceeds are going towards Sofa Ranch, and we are in the business of impacting the community. And thank you so much, Raven, for joining me on tonight. Guys, go over to savesofaranch.org if you have not had the opportunity to give. We're looking for 6,000 people to give $100, and with that, we'll have an opportunity to save Sofa Ranch. Thank you guys so much for all the work that you have done in the community, and we are out. Thank you guys so much.
Bye.